My name is Folu Ogunkere, and some people know me as Folu Storms. I'm a traveler, presenter, lover of music, adventure, and all things African. So I found a way to combine all these things. Join me as I discover the new Africa. This time, we're heading to Capetown in South Africa. Day one of Cape Town for me was fully about the outdoors, because I had read so much about this beautiful city with mountains and oceans, so what else would I tackle as soon as I arrived? First, I went for a morning run and was stunned at what I was witnessing. A city in Africa that combined so much natural beauty with 21st century infrastructure. And that's the best thing about it. The whole city seems to spread out at your feet when you're running up in the hills and mountains surrounding Camps Bay. And speaking of mountains, the run early this morning was really just a warm-up so I could get nice and limber before taking on Lion's Head Mountain. Now, you guys know I'm afraid of heights, right? Okay, well if you didn't, I'm telling you now. And because of this fear, I specifically and carefully asked a lot of people what pretty but comfortable hiking trails I could do without risking life and limb. And everyone said, climb Lion's Head Mountain. Liars? It started out easy enough, but as we kept going up, this thing stopped looking easy.
It's real short.
But I really enjoy this. That's what. But it's super nice. Ja, maar wie kan er wat julle?
It gets worse. Sorry.
Oh, to say that.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, Mark.
He does.
Now, if you're a real outdoors person, at 2,000 plus feet above sea level, Lion's Head is barely a mountain. But that is 2,000 plus feet higher than I am comfortable with. And then, my liver finally caught.
Okay. This morning I decided to walk up Lion's Head because it has a beautiful view of Cape Town. You can see it and it's so stunning. But then I have a real fear of heights. And we're really close to the edge, so I'm sitting here trying to figure out if I can make it further than this.
Sadly, I couldn't make it all the way to the top. But I think that was for the best. Because otherwise, we would now be showing you footage of a helicopter rescue.
Surprisingly, in your time on paleo, you're actually eating more vegetable than anything else.
But never one to be down for long, I decided to soothe my wounded ego and reward myself with a nice trip out into the Cape Winelands. Specifically to Fairview Winery and Cheese Farm. It's almost impossible to talk about Cape Town without talking about wine. And to some, it may seem like something only snobs do, but wine tasting can be a very informative and enjoyable activity. Think about it.
Well, hello Lynn, how are you?
No, I'm fine. Welcome to Fairview. You've come to one of the top wine farms to come to in South Africa. Yes, in fact, we're on the list of the 5 best things to do in Cape Town.
Absolutely, because
Yes.
everyone I spoke to was like, you should go to Fairview. Go to Fairview. So now I'm here. I'm excited because I like a bit of wine. I like some wine to relax and chill. So I'm really excited to try out what Fairview has to offer.
Because you mentioned beforehand that you like a red wine.
I do like a red wine.
So this is a wooded white wine. So red wine drinkers would tend to like a wooded white wine because there's more body in it.
Yes.
So what you're picking up with the wood is a bit of the vanilla notes. So this is
It's fine.
not pushed into enough there. So.
Perfect.
So we are the first farm to grow Viognier. Viognier we planted 19 years ago, and this is our 15th bottling.
It is like fuller, more body. It's
Yes.
round. I like that.
Yeah, the nose on that is peachy apricot with a hint of blossoms, and the follow-through is vanilla and spiciness.
If you aren't into hardcore adventure, this is a nice and affordable way to expand your horizons and learn more. Not to mention, enjoying the delicious food served directly from the farmyard. Wine tours are an experience that the whole family can actually enjoy together. But if wine isn't your thing, there's also the option of checking out one of the local weekend markets, like the Neighbor Goods Market. Open every Saturday at what used to be the old biscuit mill, it's a platform for local farmers, traders, and artisans, an excellent spot to get a feel for what Capetonians are like. It was there that I bumped into local artisan Dan Fuller, who makes jewelry, and he was nice enough to give me a quick tour of his store.
I'm a fashion jewellery designer based in Capetown, South Africa. I've been doing the range for about 7-8 years. I decided to go into jewellery. I worked with a furniture designer some years ago in Durban, and it was the material is quite an industrial. It's not sort of, can I say, typical when you think jewellery as precious metals, gold, silvers, etc. It's a totally clean, high-grade stainless steel that I use, which is used in architecture. And it was just using this, can I say, this like an industrial material in a more intimate form, i.e. jewellery or fashion accessories. I even class myself more as a sort of fashion accessory designer rather than a typical jewellery where you think precious metals and stones and so on.
Realize the potential in all of us.
While enjoying the many sights and sounds of Cape Town, I did notice that there didn't seem to be a lot of people of African ethnicity in and around Camps Bay. So I met up with an artist from the Cape Flats called Earl Mentor. Now he explained to me the origins of this divide and how he and others were working through music to unite their communities.
We are killing the blessings we have to embrace one another, eye and eye for a brother, taking life of their own, loud cries from a mother, kids having the kids, no example being set, the blind not yet bake the touch for milk not fed. Their lives like a sub, there's no skills to play, no watches from neighbors, no time in the day, so they cut the wrist, cause their life is hard, over fake communion, was
Okay, welcome to Ocean View,
Thank you.
aka also known as Slangkop.
Slanku.
Yeah, we were moved here during the 1960s, and I'm an active member, community member. I work a lot with youth empowerment and community development. Our parents were forced out of Simonstown, which was declared white area, and they were removed from Simonstown to come stay at the temporary place called Ocean View, basically called the Cape Flats.
The Cape Flats.
Where most 95%, 100% of the college, so-called college, was forced into, with no means, no resources, no expectations of where they're going to go next. And basically they made a life here. I think so the people is still suffering from the pain from the past, especially our senior citizens. The mentality that they adapted, that they won't amount to anything because they were taken from their homes, forced into a space they don't want it to be.
Yeah.
And they believe that they were treated like they were undermined in terms of the character and the life they saw for themselves. And it's evident today amongst our youth and older youth growing up, the divisions.
What are the biggest fears that some of the youth in the community have about trying to move forward? Because it can't be easy. If there's just one life that you know, how do you overcome that? How do you move past that?
It's just we need to rekindle the relationship.
Yeah.
We need to bring it together, and I think so. Once we can cement that relationship between parent and child, I think things will happen.
Just before leaving Cape Town, I had to experience a little surfing. So I headed down to Long Beach, where the famous Roxy Surf School is.
Acha que é o ano lobby.
And professional surfer Papi gave me a few pointers and had me catching waves in no time. It was awesome.
Listen, if the girl he got his boyfriend now I know beside me, cause some girls just want to have some fun and I'm also do I. Enter my elevator, I want it. Enter my elevator, I want it. Enter my elevator, enter my elevator.
My name is Papi Makanyane and I've been surfing for about 8 years. I've been like the whole reason I started surfing, like to get out of drugs. Like since we've been young, we've been taught like about being positive and like working out, and surfing is something that really helped me out, helped my family out. I helped out most of the kids. Like I'm privileged kids, like in the water boats. Most of them look up to me for my surfing, and I'm always like welcome to like after school, spend time with them, take them out in the water. Because usually some of them could be like pro surfers, you know, they need time out, they need help. It depends like on your balancing. Usually it takes some like maybe more than one lesson, or some really takes forever for them. But usually like if you're really up to it and be like, okay, today I'm getting up, usually it takes like straight into one lesson.
After a beautiful day of surfing, I took a walk down the pier to enjoy the last sunset over Camps Bay. Weekends are always too short, and it was time to leave Cape Town on the way back home. It's true what they say, huh? Time really does fly when you're having fun. Getting back into Joburg, I headed straight to our lovely house in Melville because I really wanted to relax and unwind, so I called over a couple of friends and we passed the night with food, wine, and outrageous laughter. There's still a lot I want to do before leaving South Africa, so I start my day early and visit Mabeneng Precinct, home to Market on Main.
Arts on Main used to be a pretty rundown area of Johannesburg, but now it's undergoing an incredible artistic and cultural revival. So I'm here to check out the market, which happens every Sunday, so let's see what it's about.
Market on Main is a weekly gathering of independent traders in food and design. It's a great platform for socially conscious initiatives like this one. I was shot in Joburg.
I'm Bernard Viljoen. We're in Johannesburg, South Africa. I started a project 4.5 years ago in Hillbrow, one of the more notorious suburbs in Johannesburg, with a group of former street children. They live in Twilight Children now, but what we initially did, I used disposable cameras, gave them very basic photography training, and we documented the immediate environment. Our first exhibition was entitled Find Beauty Where You Thought There Were None. And that was as simple as that. I wanted to teach the guys to find beauty. And the most incredible images came out of that. After 6 months we had an exhibition. The guys wanted to carry on with the project. I absolutely loved it. So we had to figure a way to make it sustainable. So we created the brand I Was Shot in Joburg. And it's been 4.5 years since. We've now moved into a beautiful space at Arts on Main, and the project is pumping. We've got an online store at www.iwasshot.com where people can support us and see all the amazing products the guys are producing.
Hi, my name is Maria McCloy.
I live in Johannesburg, and basically I have a range of African print clutches, luggage, and shoes. Before I had been a vintage seller. I sold vintage clothes. I sold earrings made in Lesotho, where I'm from. And I've just always been crazy about accessories, you know, because I'm a bag lady. I have a million bags. I have a million cloth. I had put the two together, and I had a clutch now, and people really loved it. It really resonated with people. And then a year later, I came up with the idea of putting all these cloths. So it's Nigerian cloth, Congolese cloth, Mozambican cloth, East African cloth, putting it on shoes and bags. And people are really touched by the whole thing, I think, because they can see their history and themselves in it. And, you know, this cloth has always been in their life, but now it's on something trendy, something you can wear as part of street gear, and it's really worked. I've been in all the magazines. I've been on CNN, I've been in Marie Claire, Elle, I've been in all the papers in South Africa without even really trying, which shows it really speaks to people, and that makes me happy.
And only a few minutes away is the fashion house of legendary designer Sonwabile Ndamase, the creative director of Vukani Fashions and creator of the Madiba shirt, which became an iconic fashion statement after being worn by late former President Nelson Mandela.
I'm in Maboneng Precinct, which some people describe as a fashion district of Johannesburg or its fashion capital. I'm here to see a man who is both a fashion designer, a legend, and an icon.
But we as South Africans, one of the things that I picked up is that we have been having a huge challenge as who we are, because we still not believe that we belong in an African continent. What I believe is that we as a human being, we need to have a sense of Ubuntu. We need not to understand that humanity can play a role in making us better people.
But some people may not really know, so can you clarify for me exactly what Ubuntu is, the idea, the principle of Ubuntu?
The principles of Ubuntu are the principles that come from within African content. When you are born between two people, and thereafter you become this particular person within your own, which is this particular people that you are born with. That is your family. Beyond your family, there is what we call community. Or let's start with the relatives. Beyond the relatives, there's a community. Beyond community, you expand to what we call your country. Beyond your country, there's what we call Africanism. If then you know where you are coming from, that I was born between my mom and dad, and then I had a family, which are your siblings and your relatives, and beyond that, then you will know in life that when you leave, you are not living in isolation. So if you have what we call Ubuntu humanity, bringing home of knowing that you are not living in isolation, then you will be a human being later. That's all connected. So Ubuntu comes from that in my own definition of knowing. Then that's why then as a human being, most African people have got what we call clan name. In my own, I will say ndingunyawuza ufaka uthahlo ndayena uhlamba ngubene uziqelekazi ungqungqusha umatshuba endlovu umantwana antle unyawuza kadakhile, because I am not alone. I'm carrying all these people with me as I go beyond my success.
Should I give you my clan names?
Yes, please.
Ada, Folu, Adikbeju, Aweru, Nkege.
Now, where would you get that in another culture? Which means that the European culture, you'll never, they only look at themselves. We know that before me, there are other people who have lived. There are ancestral people. So you call those kind of people, and then you'll get into God by knowing that you are who you are. That's what humanity means.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time out to spend with us, Sonwabile. I've loved the coffee. I'm going to take some biscuits and coffee.
Yes, of course, we can.
Okay, I'm just going to disappear with this now. Thank you so much.
Okay, fine. Disappear. Have fun.
The visit with Sonwabile was a good reminder to put everything in perspective. Unknown to us, there are many people present in our societies today that do their part to bring about change, peace, and unity. From late former President Nelson Mandela to street graffiti artists, and sometimes to club DJs. I paid a visit to Planet Radio to chat with DJ Waxy, who himself has been instrumental in introducing Nigerian music to South Africa.
Let's talk real quick about when did you decide to get into music? That's really something that's always very interesting to me. How long have you, was it a conscious decision? Did you just fall in? Was it just something
Well, you know what, it's not something that just happened. I came from background of music. My father happens to be a musician and also a professional guitarist. So music has always been there for me.
You're a truly international DJ in every sense of the word.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
DJ in South Africa, you DJ in Nigeria, you DJ
All
around
over
the
the
African
world,
continent,
yeah.
all over the world. It's real talk. Now, but let's talk about these two main places that you can call home, Nigeria and SA. Pretty much, that's what it is.
Yes.
Now, tell us, what's the difference really in DJing for a Nigerian crowd and Nigerian club versus DJing in SA?
Before it was just hip-hop, more like your American kind of style, whereby you just go for it strictly hip-hop from your old school to underground to commercial. And Nigeria was more like that way back then. Nigerian music evolved from what it was, although we started it before I left Rhythm, with the like of Rough, Rugged and Raw, Plantation Boys and all of that, you know. So coming here and they will come out here, give me their music and, you know, sample it here and there. But it was so bad that in SA they were not playing any other music but SA music. When I first came to South Africa, because it was through an exchange program from between YFM, the youth station over here, and Rhythm FM in Nigeria, Lagos. So I couldn't understand because it was just all the way Kwaito and house music, no hip-hop. Then the opportunity came, there was a DJ competition which they did in Johannesburg. It was a big one. That was in 2000 though. So I was one of the judges and about 20,000 crowd. So I was on stage just killing it. First time, I didn't know that they were craving for hip-hop. But the DJs then were playing underground hip-hop. They didn't play the kind of music people are used to on radio.
Yeah.
So I did just that, kill it for them, and that was the first break. And Nigerian music became what it is right now. So at the club right now, you go clubbing, you play SC music, mix it into Nigerian music because there's the same tempo, and it's about the same in Nigeria now. So I think I would say I'm one of the reasons, let me just say I'm the reason why that happened.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we've been able to marry the two countries together, and now we are reaping the benefits. You understand what I'm saying? A Nigerian artist can just come here, he's welcome, people are loving their music, and people are loving South African music in Nigeria. I think my job here is done regarding that, you know. So you can go even to Tanzania, Malawi, Angola, anywhere they want to hear Nigerian music.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be part of it.
That's a solid bumper. I think I'm done. I'm out. DJ Waxy in SA, Miss Folu Storms, hanging out.
You know how we do.
Changemakers will always come in many forms, but the biggest agents for change in any culture have always been the youth. And South Africa knows this better than most, thanks to the heroic efforts of Hector Peterson and the youth involved in the June 16 uprising of 1976.
On the 16th of June, 1976, Hector Peterson was one of the first students gunned down in the uprising in Soweto. He and several other students fought so that South Africa could experience the freedom
they experience today. And for this, we will never forget.
South Africa has been such an awesome adventure. From the busy streets of Johannesburg to the dazzling beauty of Cape Town, these cities are such a revelation that I cannot wait to return. Because this is Africa. This is the new Africa.
Hi guys, my name is Tomi Odunsi, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to NdaniTV channel and you can watch more videos here.